Hello everyone, how are you? Yeah, so it's been a bit quiet on this channel for a while, and I do apologise for that. If you're waiting for a video, it's just first of all I've had things going on which I don't really want to get into at the moment. But secondly, I don't know, I've just been feeling I just need a sort of change. And, you know, I need to be changing up my channel a little bit, and I need to be changing up my playing a little bit as well. So I want to start with a question. How authentic do you feel you are as a player? Now what do I mean by that? Well, some of this is going back to all, those miming scandals. I mean, it's not just like the Giacomo Chura thing, well, even though that's part of it, because since that scandal came out, then you may have found in your YouTube feed there was stuff from like for 5 years ago about loads of people were faking it, and and even so, it's not actually stopped people from miming. I mean, if you want to mime, that's up to you. But I want to be more authentic as a player. More authentic to me, more authentic to you as a viewer. More authentic to some of the traditions that I'm coming from as well. I'm an Englishman for a start. So why aren't I dipping into all that sort of English heritage? Why aren't I why aren't I exploring that? Why pretend to be something I'm not? So I mean, a couple of things. First of all, I've been thinking about going acoustic for a while, and I picked up that Suzuki guitar, which you may have seen a few weeks back. Now that guitar is now undergoing surgery, and it's being done up. So and it's going to be worth it. In the meantime, I managed to pick this up. Yes, it's a Tanglewood, but it's a copy of a Martin D28, I believe. And quite cheekily, they've actually put in the serial number. What does it say? TW28 STR. Now, I can always tell you exactly what I mean. TW for Tanglewood. 28 meaning it's a copy of a Martin D28. S meaning like spruce top. T. ST meaning spruce top, and then R meaning rosewood back and side. I mean, I'll do more of a review on this in another video, but when you can pick these things up quite cheaply, without actually going out spending a lot of money, and I think the acoustic side of my playing, even though I studied flamenco music for a while, I don't seem to have actually done much like with like the steel string stuff, which is something I really have wanted to be looking into for a while. And some of this, yes. So let's get back to something like the second point. That this is something that really been on my mind, for a good few years. I mean, even just before I started working on the flamenco stuff. I remember going into one of the music shops. I mean, I'm not sure if there's many music shops in Leicester actually left now. A lot of them are just shut down, gone out of business and whatnot. But I remember once that there used to be one on Humberston Gate, which is upon the main roads, and it was called Reverb at one point, which I don't know sure it's the same as the online firm, but I remember going in there once, and there was a girl went in. And she had a harp with her, and she said, "Oh, I'm looking for something to amplify the harp." And so it's quite. First of all, it's a surprise, I've a female musician going in a guitar shop, especially in those days. Now it's not that extraordinary. But the thing was, so they were trying around with all these different acoustic amps that they had, and they didn't actually have that much of a bigger range. But they put it through a Marshall acoustic amp. And something like all these really rich harmonics were coming out, and And I was thinking, that sounds fantastic. That sounds absolutely amazing. But as she was trying this amp out, I don't know whether she actually bought it or not. But as that was going on, I walked past like one of like the practice rooms, because that was in the days where they actually had practice rooms rather than just setting you up with an amp in the store and, you know, whatever. And there was some guy in there. I don't know who he is, but like, you know, arms like Popeye with tattoos everywhere, and he'd downtuned his guitar and he's just going, just really sort of heavy. I don't know what you call it. And I'm just thinking, well, that's all well if that's what you want to do, but what are you trying to say? You know, what is it about that heavy side of things which is the appeal? Yeah, there's a whole range of human experience, and it's being overlooked. You know, and if you're just concentrating on just playing like heavy chords, I mean, like, you know, like obviously anything down here, you know, like the classic one in flamenco school, you know, that chord. And anything from like F sharp to G, you know, anything like that, but distorted. So if you're just focusing on like the dark all the time, where's the other side of it? Where's all like the light and shade and everything in between? You know. And that's kind of stuck with me. And then like for a while it was things like, well, not using a distortion pedal anymore, and then it was just moving over to like sort of acoustic. But actually, as I was trying the acoustics out, I was getting more drawn to like the flamenco side of things, because that was very interesting. But it's now, you know, it's like a few years later, you know, coming back to it, where those same questions are coming up. You know, like, all right, if you're into heavy music, fine, that, you know, if that's what you want to do. But what's the appeal? What you know? What's the appeal in, you know, like in just focusing on all like the negative, you know, and also like you know, without naming any names, but you know, there's things like you know, like if you haven't perhaps got the technique there yet, just plugging into like a big wall of distortion and hoping that that's going to hide your flaws as a player. And what's all that about? You know, I mean, I get things like punk and you know, thrash and whatever, but again, if you've got like, let's how should I put this? Try and put it simply. If your like knowledge and technique is above actually what you actually need, then you're gonna be a lot more creative as a player. But if you're just focusing on like one aspect and ignoring all the other stuff, it's going to come across as being false. And if you're just like copying like other people as well, that's going to come across as being false. You know, and I mean, it was about a couple of months back now, actually. I mean, I was in a tribute band. We were just in the rehearsal phase, and there were some other reasons why I actually quit. But like the singer was like a big fan of this particular artist, and because this you know, like the singer, it's sort of fairly similar to what this artist sounded like. But because this artist had a particular tattoo, then he had to have that same tattoo. And then it kind of starts getting a bit weird, where, you know, at what point is it just about, you know, just being obsessed with this other person and sort of completely ignoring like your own experience? You know, like your experience, you know, and my experience as well. But you know, everybody's experience, it has this rich diversity of things you've been through, things you've survived, things you've enjoyed, and so on. And you should be telling the world about that. So why aren't you telling the world about that? You know, why are you pretending to be something or somebody that you're not? You know, I mean, I don't want this to be like, you know, turn into a rant or whatever. But for me, I'm just thinking, you know, I think, you know, rather than say, you know, like the miming stuff for one thing, copying somebody else or just like focusing on just like heavy stuff without actually thinking about any of the other side of it, or just like ignoring all the facets of the guitar, including the acoustic stuff. I just feel I just feel that need, you know, to get back to some authenticity, you know, to get back to some reality, you know. And I've also been getting back into like playing like sort of violin again as well. I mean, I haven't covered violin on this channel yet. But I mean, if it's something you want to see, then I might do that. But yeah, I mean, I just don't want to be too negative on this, you know. But I just feel as well, you know, like, things for me that there's stuff I've been neglecting, you know, perhaps too long. You know that it's just time to diversify, you know, just slightly. I mean, you know, some of the electric stuff, you know, it's not going away completely. You know, I mean, there'll still be playing electric guitar on this channel, and you know, doing various reviews and, you know, style analyses and all that stuff going forward. But you know, I just think, you know, it's time to start, you know, just start shaking things up a bit more. You know, I mean, maybe you've had these thoughts yourselves, and if you have, please comment below, and maybe you disagree. Maybe you disagree. You know, but there does come a time where, you know, just copying somebody else's stuff or miming, it's not enough. You know. All right, I think that's all. I think that's all I want to say tonight. Okay, so yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please consider subscribing. I'm sorry about the delay with this video coming out, but like I say, there's just been all this stuff going on. So I should be posting again quite soon. Right, see you next time. Thanks for watching.